Sky, I mean, we got a draw very fortuitously, but that was another horrendous showing today, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just counting down to the end of the season at this point, and I just don't understand how anyone could still back this manager. It feels like, and you kind of touched on this, Terry, the more time our team has to think and train for a match, the worse we play, which makes no sense. And I really would like someone to have the opportunity to film, and I just want to see what's going on, because there's no excuse for us to come out and play as slow as we did. We looked awful. I could not believe what I was seeing from Garnacho. He lost the ball in that first goal and just stood and turned around. Kamwala had to scramble. He lost his footing, and then they score. And on top of it, Bournemouth still had double the amount of shots as us for the match. I'm trying not to get riled up, because there's no point. There's no point in investing any more emotion to this club, because it's so mediocre. It's embarrassing at this point to try to justify or make an excuse for what we're seeing. It's awful. And I really don't understand how someone can continue to back this. There's no excuse. And I'm on Ineos watch, because if this manager stays over the summer, everything they've done up to this point is a wash. It is.
I couldn't agree with you more. I know the media keeps saying, Sky, that they like him and he keeps talking it up. I cannot imagine Omar Barada, Ashworth, Wilcox, even Sir Jim himself. I just can't imagine them looking at these performances in the last 2 or 3 months. I remember saying to KJ, we spoke privately about this a few months ago, thinking to myself, sometimes you might be underperforming in your job. You get a new owner or a new MD comes in, and you buck your ideas up and you improve. You always see people that do that in general working environments. We've got worse. Certain players have got worse. The system has got worse. The performances, the results, it's all just falling apart. And the hope I have behind that, and this is hope because none of us know anything directly, is that that's because a lot of these players know they're going, the manager knows he's going, and big changes are coming. Because if there aren't big changes and we've got more of this to look forward to, I don't know how to process that in my head.
Yeah, and I mean, to see some people happy that we drew, where's your pride? We dropped points. We're in 7th place now because of our goal difference. There's nothing to celebrate here today. I don't understand what people's thought process is, but I agree with you. Yeah, big things have to be done moving forward, or next season's just going to be just as worse.
Could not agree with you more. Cam, what's your take on it, mate? We'll speak about the penalty in a moment, but in terms of the performance today from United, I said something that wound up a little bit of the audience earlier. I said Bournemouth are good, but they ain't that good. I feel like a lot of these games recently, it's Man United are losing as opposed to teams are beating us or outperforming us. We are just dreadful. I'd love to get your take on that.
It's wild because it's just like laxative. I went through that whole game in a lull. Right, like I fell asleep at one point, like for like 5 minutes, and woke up. I'm like, shit, like that never happens. And like you make a good point. Like we make everybody look good, but it's like we're playing in slow motion. It's like no one cares right now. You can almost like we all feel like we can't wait for the season to be done. The players feels the same way. It feels like no one cares. Like when you like so everybody was jumping on Kumbwala really quickly on that goal, and I'm sitting there going, I mean, Garnacho's touch was diabolical, and at that point, he got, I don't know anybody who watched basketball, he got the AI crossover and got put down. That's just how it is. Like, if you played sports, you're backpedaling. Like, I played, like, American football. If you're out of sorts and somebody's got quick feet, you're probably going to get taken down like that. So I wasn't coming down on the kid for that. I think a lot of what's happening with our team, not just the discombobulation, is when you talk about the greed and it's just like the lack of accountability at this end. So, in the group chat, somebody asked the other day, what's your unpopular opinion about your team? And I said that I believe this team with Bruno and Rashford, those two can stay in the team and we could win something in the future. I still believe that based on talent. But the problem is, like what you said, when like Rashford's not cutting it back, but then he's not going to get punished for that. Sorry, I got to find that. He's not going to get punished for that, right? He's not going to get sat for that. It's not going to be an issue. So he'll continue to do those things. You look at Garnacho not tracking back, but in the same game, I actually like to find positives. I was like praising Rashford for he lost the ball So this is the thing. In the same game where he makes a mistake, he lost the ball, but then he tracked his dude all the way to the other side of the pitch, ran with him the whole way. So I'm like, there's still like a player like Rashford. He's still a good player. I'll never not say he's a good player. But when you look at him in this team, that's my opinion. You look at him in this team, you look at Bruno, you look at that shot Bruno took where you're like the quality of a lot of our players is good. And you're just watching Bournemouth. You're watching like, how do you allow 14 shots on target, like not on target, 14 shots from Bournemouth? You can't. Like, I feel so bad for Onana. I'm going to say this right now. I feel terrible for this dude. Like, when you're facing that many shots, you look at, as you called out, that the gap in space, or people like, how do you get beat by your near post? I'm like, I don't know, because your keeper is sitting there thinking one of these defenders is going to engage. Someone's going to do something. I'm not going to have to come all the way across my net to save a near, I'll be okay. Nope, not with us. So I don't know. I'm in the space of we need to get rid of Eric Ten Hag. We know that. I don't agree with you on, I don't want any European football. I don't. That's me. That's just where I'm at. I think I want us to go the Chelsea route, that 1 year where they were terrible. You have 1 week, 1 game a week. Whoever the new manager is that comes in has a lot of time with you. You're not thrown into the big lights because none of these players seem to be like, they don't have the mentality right now. They don't have the balls to handle European football. So if you're going to put them in there, and it's just going to be any sort of momentum we might get in the league next year or any of the cup tournaments, you're going to go into Europe and you're going to get smoked. And it's just going to kill the mentality even more. That's just where I'm at. I get it. I hear you. The heritage of watching your team in those tournaments, that's what you want. But I don't think it'll serve us anything positive if we're in European competitions, because those teams will eat us alive.
I do. Listen, I understand that logic. As I say, I think that depends on. I'm a bit like Sky. I am on Ineos watch. I'm watching what they're doing. I'm not showing my ass and panicking over things straight away. I want to see what actually happens before I judge them. But if they do bring in the right manager and they clear out a lot of the crap and a lot of what they're talking about sounds good, there could be a massive. I mean, if you just drilled this team now, if we were well drilled in and out of possession, we'd be in the top 4.
But a massive improvement for us right now would be top 4. Like, which is crazy.
But this is the point I'm making. If we were just well drilled in and out of possession, which you should be, we'd be in the top 4 and we would have got through our group stage in the Champions League. So we're not a million miles away from being a decent team at the elite level. We're nowhere near being ready to win a Premier League title, but we're not far away from being a decent team. We just need to be well drilled. 6 months of last season, we were a really well drilled team. And look what we did. We won a trophy. We got through to the latter stages of the Europa League. We progressed from being really low down in the league to being right up there in 3rd place. That's what you're capable when you're well drilled and the system is working and everybody's bought into it. But I do understand as well, maybe having 1 game a week, drilling that new system into people, whatever it is, will also stand in good stead. There's a super chat here I want to go to that just says, Terry, how can a terrible manager win 4 back-to-back titles and lead his side to the Champions League semis, beating Real Madrid? He needs good players. Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Rashford, Lindelof, Casemiro are not at that level. Well, look, it's again, I don't think Ten Hag is a bad manager. I've said it on other shows before. I think he will leave and he could still potentially have a very fruitful and successful career. But I like cheese sandwiches and I like a jam sandwich, or jelly if you're watching from the States. But I wouldn't like cheese and jam together in the same sandwich. Sometimes 2 people are just not a good mix. And when you mention those players that are in the team, Maguire's only starting because all the other centre-backs are injured. So people say, I can't believe Maguire's playing. I thought the manager didn't want him. If Varane and Lissandro were fit, he wouldn't be playing.
Even Evans.
Yeah, Dalot is someone that he has developed and wanted to keep. Rashford, he gave a new deal to. Lindelof, fair enough, but he barely plays anyway. And Casemiro was his purchase. So we were all shocked at the players this manager. He spent £60 million on Mason Mount and doesn't play him. He spent the whole summer chasing Amrabat and doesn't play him. He went and bought a goalkeeper who's one of the best in the world at playing out from the back, but we're not well drilled as a team to play out from the back. So I can't defend the manager just based on his CV. He isn't doing a good enough job, my friend. And I get the argument about if we had all our players back, yes, but we should still have a good system in and out of possession. And what Cam was saying, where he feels sorry, I felt sorry for Willie today. I thought he got cooked for that first goal. Look, yes, people are going to say slipped. I'm keeping the same energy for Mickey van der Ven. He slipped because Solanke did him. It's as simple as that. We've all played football. that's what happens. But I feel sorry for him putting a young kid in a role where it's such a bad defensive line anyway. It's so difficult for him to do well in it. And it's like the same with Mainu. We have good moments from him, but because we're a bad drilled team, he's going to look worse. You stick him in a better side. So look, I think we need to do a lot about it. Dizzy's with